Law practice is rarely as glamorous as it is seen on television. A lot of lawyers actually go through burnout, stress, mental anxieties throughout their career. Mental health has been a growing topic in the Hong Kong legal industry, and we're really fortunate today to invite Dr. Frances Cheng, a specialist in psychiatry and head of mental health at OT&P MindworX, to join us. Thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Cheng.
Mental illness is any condition that affects the way we think, our emotions, our mood, and our behavior, and how it impacts us in our daily functioning. So whether it's impacting us socially, or at work, or in our interpersonal relationships.
And how common is it amongst lawyers in Hong Kong?
So we don't have figures, we don't have local Hong Kong figures amongst the legal workforce. However, lots of studies have been conducted in the US, in Australia, and in the UK. And a recent study in the US found that amongst about 13,000 lawyers interviewed, 25 to about 30% of them did experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Mm-hmm. Now, Hong Kong is a metropolitan city with the large international legal firms here, so it's expected that these figures are probably similar amongst the local legal workforce as well. Amongst the local population in Hong Kong, the prevalence of anxiety disorders and depression is about 13%. So we can see that stress and anxiety are definitely higher in those working in the legal profession here. Well, we all know that the legal profession is extremely demanding, and demanding in so many different ways. So the competition, I think, between firms and sometimes even within firms can be extremely fierce. The working hours are often very, very long. Modern technology has definitely contributed with the advent of emails. Yes. A lot of people are CC'd onto so many emails that they're just not able to get through all of these in one day. Yes. And also right now there's more and more of a trend to use instant messaging. So for example, WhatsApp, and WeChat amongst colleagues and also with clients as well. So people in the legal profession really are struggling to keep up with all of these messages that they have to, or they feel like they have to respond to instantly. This can lead to a huge amount of stress and strain on their time. They're not necessarily able to concentrate on the work that they're trying to get through because they're having to deal with all of these instant demands.
And it can be quite stressful when you're always anticipating messages from clients or bosses messaging you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is one thing which people do feel very, very uncomfortable with. The fact that they know that something might come through any minute. It could happen while they are on weekends. Yes. Definitely outside of office hours, even when they're traveling overseas on holidays, they feel that pressure to constantly be responding instantly. The WHO, the World Health Organization, stipulates that there is no health without mental health, and indeed there are so many ways that we can become affected when our mental health deteriorates. So for example, physically, a lot of people with anxiety and depression will complain of insomnia, either not being able to fall asleep or having very fragmented sleep. They will feel that during the day they just don't have the same energy levels as they did before. They may not feel as interested or as motivated in the work that they do, or engaging with their colleagues or even their family and friends. They may also feel that their attention and concentration is poorer, and indeed kind of reaction speed, processing speed is worse. It's more difficult for them to be productive at work, and all of this can lead to an increased feeling of anxiety and stress, and just not that they're able to complete things when they expected that they would be able to. So unsurprisingly, personal life is often affected as well. Usually individuals are eager to sacrifice their personal time for themselves or with their family members, and this can sometimes lead to feelings of guilt or feelings of loneliness, that they're not perhaps spending enough time with their children or their families, or that they've really disconnected from their friends because they've been so caught up at work.
That must be really hard on family members of people who have mental health issues as well.
Yeah, very often family members really want to help, really want to see their their family get better, but because they're so caught up in work, they have very little time to spend with them anyway. Well, let's start with the personal level. What I would recommend to everybody is that they definitely do prioritize their sleep. Lawyers are very good at not sleeping, and actually most adults require 7 to 9 hours of sleep in order for their brains to function well the next day. Now, given that lawyers are usually very short of time, it's important to try and maximize your productivity when you are at work. By sleeping a sufficient number of hours, this ensures that you are at maximal productivity and that you're really able to pay attention and focus on the work that you are doing. Diet is also important. A lot of people will either not have breakfast or skip lunch during the day. It's actually really important to ensure that your brain has enough fuel to function properly. And finally, doing exercise. So it's well known that exercise will improve the brain functioning. And if you're able to get the exercise done early in the morning, it means that you've activated your brain such that your cognitive function, your brain functioning is better throughout the day. Recent studies have also shown us that exercise is able to reduce the symptoms of anxiety and depression in individuals who are suffering from these conditions. And therefore, if you're able to get in about 30 minutes of cardio a day, that would be sufficient.
Oh, great. And what about for organizations? It's been a big topic at law firms and multinationals. What would you recommend organizations doing to help their employees if they're stressed out or anxious?
I mean, for a long time, organizations have been aware that their most valuable assets are their employees, and so recently there has been a lot that's been done to try and improve the mental wellness of their employees. So lots of organizations are now starting to do talks and forums at work where people are encouraged to come and understand the symptoms of mental illness such that they're able to seek help when they need to do so. Having such open talks also gives employees the confidence that yes, their companies do realize that these are issues that are found within their organization and that these are things which are should be positively dealt with and have the support of the company.
And what about, say, friends in a social environment? What would you suggest to, your lay person if they can observe, if they've seen that their friends are a little bit angsty?
Yeah, I would say that if you notice that there is a difference in your friends, if you notice that they are perhaps a bit low in mood or a bit anxious or a bit irritable, or that they have been declining all your social invitations, then it's time to let them know that you've observe these changes in them and to really ask them, if they're okay, how they've been doing recently. And I think one of the really important things is that because anxiety and depression are common mental illnesses, you will find that there are people around you who have suffered from these conditions. And only by bringing it out and talking about it are we, finally starting to strip away, the guilt and the shame and the feelings of hopelessness that have kind of stigmatized all types of mental illness for a very long time.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us, Dr. Cheng. It's been very, very informative, and it's comforting to know that it's not an uncommon topic in Hong Kong. So all the lawyers watching this today, don't be afraid to reach out if you do want to talk to someone about any stress or anxiety that you're going through. Remember, your career is a marathon, not a race. So do remember to take time to live healthily, both physically and mentally, because you're going to need the good health that to get to where you want to be.